Hello folks, welcome back to the shop. We're gonna do a video today on this thing that I bought called Cedar Heater. I would assume it's from the 60s by looking at the paperwork with it, maybe late 50s, early 60s, somewhere around there. And it's got a burner in it that burns alcohol to heat this seat up, and it was to be used outside when you're cold, like ice fishing or things like that. So I'll bring the camera around to this side and we'll open it up and take a look at it, and then we're gonna fire it up and see if it works. Okay, there it is. The Cedar Heater. Manufactured by XL Incorporated, Franklin Park, Illinois. Patent pending. So don't go try to make your own and sell them and rip these people off, because they probably got the patent by now. It's got little latches on the side. Latch the lid on. The lid pops off of there. It's got all the stuff that came with it inside. It's actually got an attachment that you can use. It uses a little alcohol stove, and you're supposed to be able to cook stuff on here. And I'm going to try that out today. I'm going to use the old percolator pot and make a pot of coffee. That wick is most likely 100% asbestos. I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's got some asbestos in it anyway. There's the fuel can. I filled it up with denatured alcohol at home this morning. And that's the burner that goes in the cooker. By looking at it, I would say it's probably never even been lit before. There's the instructions for it. I was hoping that it would have a date somewhere on there, but I don't see one anywhere. The Cedar Heater keeps you warm. Says it's good for winter sports, hunting, ice fishing, and spectator sports. It's got all the instructions. And then it's got spare parts that you can buy for it. The most expensive thing is a fuel can, and it's $1.10. This paper was in the bag with the stove parts. Apparently when you get ready to put it out, you're just supposed to use the can full of fuel to snuff out the flame. Alright, let's put this thing together and see if it works or not. I'll try the heater part first, and then I'll try the stove attachment on it. Okay, this is the instructions say to put this wick in there. I got that clear full to the very, very top, so I'm gonna have to dump a little bit of that out, but I'm gonna use some of it for the burner for the stove anyway. The instructions for the stove say to fill this till it's 1/4 inch deep after it's soaked into whatever they've got in there for like a wick material. So I'll pour some of this in here. And I'll pour some of it on the table too, apparently. I don't know, that feels like about 1/4 inch. Maybe I'll put a little bit more in there. Now it says to get this mounted in the cradle before you light it too, so I got to get the cradle out of the bucket here. It's got a little cradle that it goes in. I got to try to fit this wick back inside this can now. There we go. This can slides into that little cradle. There's a hole in the side in there that post goes in, and then there's a hole on the other side, and you slide it down till it latches in there. And there you can see if I tip the can either direction, that still stays upright in there. Alright, it says to invert the can to moisten the wick and then light the wick. Hold it upside down for a few seconds here. Now it's wet. Alright, let's see if I can light this thing without setting myself on fire here. Well, it's burning. With alcohol, it's hard to see. It makes a really clean blue flame, but it is burning. And it says to give it 5 minutes to warm up. Okay, it's been burning for a few minutes now. And now, according to the instructions, I'm supposed to adjust that nut on the top of the can to adjust the flame, but I'm guessing that nut's going to be really hot now. Plus, I can't even, there's no way to get your hand in there without putting your hand right in the flame. So I think I'll pull the burner back out, set it on the tabletop here, and try adjusting it and see if it changes the flame. Then we'll put it back in there and put the lid on, and I got my infrared thermometer out here to see how quickly it heats up. I see why they don't want that sitting up. It doesn't have a flat bottom on it. Alright, let's see how hot that is. Oh, surprisingly, that nut is not too hot to touch. Should be, as you turn it down, it should make a larger flame. And it is, it's flaming up more. I think I'll leave it there, about halfway down. Now I'll see if I can get this back in here without setting myself on fire. Okay, it's back in there. The flame's adjusted to a pretty decent sized flame there. Now this lid that goes on there has a metal plate on the inside, and then an air space, and then the top of the lid, and it's got louvers that you can open and close to let more or less air in there. It draws air in through the side back there. You can see the little holes in the back behind the little tin wind block shield on it. So I'll set this camera down again, and we'll put the lid on there, and I'll grab my thermometer and see what the temperature of the lid is now, and then we'll see how quickly that heats up. Right now the lid is 60.8 degrees. I'm going to put the louvers about in the middle, about halfway, snap the lid on here. Close the little latches on it. Oh, I can already feel heat coming out the louvers on the side. It's already warmed up to 63.5. I'll give it just a few minutes, and then I'll check it again, see how warm the top of it is. Alright, it's been burning for a few minutes now, and it is hot. I don't know if you can read that 153 degrees. It definitely does get hot, and if you were sitting on it, the heat coming out through those louvers would come right up. You could warm your hands over it. So I would imagine it probably would work okay for what it was intended for. Wow, that's hot. Yeah, with the louvers open, I'm showing 152 degrees, so I'm thinking that you could probably get by with having that burner set all the way on the lowest setting. Alright, well now I'm going to take that out of there and I'm going to put the cooker assembly on it and see if it'll get hot enough to percolate some coffee. Alright, I got the little burner here. I already put a 1/4 inch alcohol in it. The burner assembly goes together. These little arms just go into slots in the, yep, that's backwards. Slots in that little ring. And then this hangs from the top of the bucket. And you put your burner down in there. We'll get up a little bit closer so you can actually see down in there. We use Dad's lighter to reach down in there to light that, so I don't have to try to get my fingers clear down in there. I think it's, yep, it's burning. It's a really blue flame. It should, after it heats up a little bit, the flame should start coming out the holes around the top of that burner instead of just burning in the middle. We'll set that grate on there. I don't think this burner's ever been lit before. It doesn't look like it's ever been lit, and the grating and stuff, it looks like brand new, so this is probably the first time that the cooker part's ever been lit. I'll get the old percolator coffee pot over here. Set it on top of there. And we'll let it go. I'll try to get in close. Oh, here, let me shut this light off. There we go. Get in close here and see if you can see the flame in there. But it is burning right out through the little holes in the burner. And I can feel a lot of heat coming off of it, so I'm guessing it might take a little bit, but it should get hot enough to boil that coffee. Well, I had to stop and refuel once, but it's finally starting to percolate now. Now we'll see if it stays burning long enough to percolate enough to actually turn the water into coffee. Yeah, it's starting to look like it might turn into coffee before the fuel runs out again. Honestly, a 1/4 inch of fuel in the bottom of that can't be more than a few tablespoons of fuel, so I can't imagine it would last a super long time. It's boiling good now.
Yeah.
so how do you know when it's done?
When it runs out of fuel. I don't know.
You're old enough, you should have used a percolator pot before.
I use a drip pot.
I do too. That's why I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll give it another minute and then we'll pull it off there.
Yeah, but I guess by sight you can tell how brown it is.
It's getting good and hot now though. It's boiling good. Okay, I'm gonna
Probably is me.
take that off and set it off to the side and let it cool down a little bit.
How do you put that fire out? Don't snuff it out with a fuel
No,
can.
that's what it says. It says you use the bottom of your fuel can to snuff the fire out. So you just take your can that's full of alcohol and set it right over the fire.
There's an empty can over here you can use.
The grating was glowing orange, so it gets good and hot.
Don't step on that. Looks like it warped it a little bit.
I think it did. Here, I think this can will just fit right over it. Do this without setting myself on fire.
Oh yeah.
Looks like coffee. It looks like it's going to be too hot to drink. You want some in your cup, Dad?
Oh yeah, I don't know where my cup is.
Oh, I didn't know where mine was either.
That looks like coffee. It's hot.
All right, well, I'll put all this stuff back together and take this home and decide what I'm going to do with it. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or resell it or what I'm going to do with it, but the seat heater worked and heated right up to over 150 degrees, so that would definitely keep your seat heated. And the cooker, it took a couple of fills of alcohol, but it did boil the coffee, so everything on it worked just as advertised. Thank you guys for watching this. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button if you would, and have a good day and come back later to watch more videos.